Hi everyone. Over the past few weeks, a lot of you have been asking me to review some videos by the channel Abbew. We'll see who this guy is.
Hi guys, today we're going to talk about 5 things that are slowing down your muscle growth. I know most of you in the fitness industry,
It's great to slow down your muscle growth because by doing that, you slow down your aging, as in your death. The more your muscles grow, the sooner you will die. And what it really just means is that your body adapts to the stress. And in this case, the stress comes from you going to a gym, which is a building full of slaves. And then all of you simply pull, push, lift man-made metal for no reason, over and over again, mostly for decades, or at least for years. He has probably done it for decades. And you get nothing out of it, except that you become older and unhealthier. Your muscles grow, so to speak, of course, because they adapt to the stress, but there's nothing in any way beneficial about it. All that you do is simply adapt your body to lifting more man-made metal for no reason. That's all that your body is good for, which is useless. Your body is useless.
after 2 things to look good, either to drop body fat
But you don't look good, man. You look absolutely abnormal.
or to tone up and build some muscle. Now, there are so many things that slow down your muscle building, but because they become so mainstream, they become so, everyone's doing it, I think people think that's the right thing to do. And I can tell you that most of these things are slowing down your muscle growth. The first one is ultra-processed foods. Now, you may ask me, what is ultra-processed foods?
That's clear as day. We'll skip to the next point.
Wheat. I know wheat, I know.
Wheat is not even food. It's a seed. It destroys your gut. Of course, it's bad in general for your health. It couldn't possibly be good to build muscle.
In this industry, a lot of people eat things like bagels.
This is absolute slave food. It's not even food. It's literally the worst thing you could possibly put in your body.
But that's also wheat. One thing that was frowned upon a lot when I was a bodybuilder was wheat. I was told that stay away from things like pasta and all of that. Why? Because they're not good for you. Wheat, lots of people cannot tolerate wheat.
There's also clear as day. We'll skip to the next one.
I tell my clients to only use carbohydrates like sweet potato.
Sweet potatoes are high in oxalates. They will create kidney stones. Long term, that's not a good idea. Not a good recommendation for your clients.
Potatoes, even rice, black rice
Rice, wait, what?
is better.
Wait, how is black rice better? White rice is pretty much the best seed that you can eat, which is still terrible. It only has sugar, some anti-nutrients, not as many as in the black rice. Still has arsenic, not as much as in black rice. Black rice is in every way worse. All rice, which still has the shell, is worse, whether it's black, red, or whatever.
Jumbo or silka oats, there's so many different natural. You can use yams, I used to use plantains.
I don't get why he doesn't recommend eating wheat. I get it, but what I mean is that all of that garbage is really just as bad. Is wheat worse? Maybe, slightly, whatever. It's still freaking seeds, which humans are not even supposed to eat, man. Even birds are not really supposed to eat them. Some birds eat some seeds, but birds eat also insects, as in animals. Seeds are not supposed to be eaten. Seeds are the babies of the plants. The plants don't want you to eat them. They want you to put them into the ground, as in eat them and they come through the other end, and then a new plant will grow. That's the purpose of seeds. It's not food.
Raw plantains, those were good. You can use different carbohydrate sources that are single ingredient.
The best carbohydrate sources are fruits, honey, and milk.
When you put the thing in the packet, it says rice, not something that's been made in a lab by these companies who are only after taste, manipulating your taste buds, and also after money.
That's all true, but how do you eat your rice? Do you just eat raw rice? No, you cook it, you already process it. And then do you eat plain cooked rice? No, you probably also add a sauce. You don't even want to eat the stuff in the first place. Why even recommend it? Why recommend something where you need to cover up the taste?
Fat has been demonized for years. Fat has never been the enemy. Fat has never been the enemy. In fact, fat is your body's preferred energy source. If it wasn't, you wouldn't store it. Your body doesn't store carbohydrate. It stores carbohydrate as fats. If you eat too many carbohydrates, what your body does is that it converts it into fat and stores it.
This video is very basic. Everybody who knows anything about nutrition and food already knows all of this. But for beginners, I assume that this is sort of good, although what he said about seeds is still terrible.
What's the point of walking around with a lot of muscle when you are unhealthy? If you're eating these foods,
What's the point of walking around with a lot of muscle in the first place at all? Is there a purpose to it? Is there a benefit? You're just slower. If you ever need to run away, impossible. We'll see now what foods he recommends to build muscle. But my point so far has been that building muscle in the first place is useless. He's, I assume, 70, 80 years old now. What has he done with his life? He has probably been lifting, pushing, pulling man-made metal together with other slaves for many decades now, most likely. What has he actually achieved? Why does he make these videos about building muscle as if there's actually a point to it? It doesn't make any sense. He hasn't achieved anything. There's no benefits to it whatsoever. It only decreases your lifespan. It stresses your body. You become just a slow tumor-like human being. And it really looks like tumors, those kind of muscles, because it doesn't look natural. It's way beyond looking natural at that point. It just looks completely abnormal. Of course, I don't know this guy. I don't know what he has done in his life. Maybe he saved tons of people's lives or whatever. But as far as what he's recommending in his videos, that's useless. You've done nothing except harming yourself and other people with these recommendations.
5 foods that will help you build muscle faster. Now, before we talk about this, I want you to remember where I'm coming from. When I was 15 years old, I saw a picture of a bodybuilder called Sergio Oliver. I was at school, young lad. And then I saw a picture of Sergio Oliver and he had a lot of muscle. He was doing a pose and I thought, I want to look a bit like that. This is like in the late...
That especially happens when you don't have a father. No idea how he grew up. I'm just saying it's very often the case because in nature, you only look up to your parents, especially your father, because he's the leader. Nowadays, you grow up, you go to school, you see superheroes, all of it is completely unnatural. It messes with your mind, or you see bodybuilders, Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movies, and then you want to be like them. It should never be like this. You should never expose your children to any of that. The father has to be the absolute hero in the family, and the children have to look up to what the father does. Of course, the fathers of today are not exactly heroes, and what they do is absolute garbage all day long, but naturally that's how it should be, and you learn from the father how to hunt and do this and that.
I was fascinated by muscle building. I want to learn how to build muscle. Now, what I learned with regards to muscle building, it's not what is going on around now. You know, now people use a lot of ultra-processed foods. They use all this whey protein, all these squares bars and cereals and stuff like that. That's not healthy. That's not the bodybuilding I bought into. When I started training,
That's all correct, but then again, isn't that kind of common sense? I guess that it isn't for most people.
Was eating really main food. Now, the first food I ate was eggs. Eggs was the first thing that I...
Very good, of course, yes. Eggs are a muscle building food. That's because it builds your whole body, especially when you do damage to your body, which is what bodybuilding does, because it destroys your body actually, and then you need to repair it afterwards. Eggs are good, of course. Raw eggs are the best.
Told was the most important food to eat for muscle building. And it's true. Eggs contain every vitamin apart from vitamin C. And eggs contain a lot of protein.
There is vitamin C, but very little. It's negligible. You could say that there isn't almost.
What I used to do with eggs was I have the first meal, 8 eggs and scrambled eggs. No egg whites, eggs, whole egg, because the nutrients actually in the yolk. 8 scrambled eggs for the first meal. And then meal 2, 3, I had 4 meals a day. Meals 2, 3, and 4 would have 10 raw eggs because I couldn't eat on the ward. I just whisked the water.
Very nice. All right. In Kenya, yeah, they probably had some freaking good eggs there. In Africa in general, back in the day, maybe still today, Africa in general, for the most part, has way better food than most of the earth.
The eggs, and I put sometimes avocados, sometimes I put oats in it, and then I'll drink it. It didn't taste very nice, but that's what helped me build muscle. So eggs.
If the eggs come from healthy chickens, ducks, or whatever, then they taste very good.
Eggs are very important. And then the biological value of an egg is very high. When you eat an egg 48% of that egg can be translated to muscle tissue or tissue. You hear people talk about, no, whey protein is actually better. Whey's not better. Whey's a synthetic product made. When I say synthetic, obviously the actual whey came from the byproduct of cheese manufacture, which used to be rubbish. They used to throw it away, and then they started making it to food.
Yes, exactly. It literally is a waste product, and people actually pay money for a waste product, and then because of advertisements, they fall for it and actually buy these powders of a waste product. It's super funny.
Food for us. So please, if you want to build muscle, forget about whey. They will lie to you about the biological value of whey, and it's actually more bioavailable. Whey is not food. It isn't food. It's not.
Okay, I really like what he's saying here, and it's absolutely true. The only foods that can actually build muscle properly are raw animal foods, as in raw eggs, raw meat, even raw milk partly, and of course, ideally raw organs, raw liver especially, absolute mega muscle building food. And raw liver from certain animals, especially wild boar, for example, which I've had many times, is kind of like taking steroids.
It's red meat. Guys, don't underestimate the power of red meat. We've been lied to so many times about red meat, and
absolutely true, of course. A good recommendation.
Red meat is bad for you. I ate red meat every day for years and did me no harm. What it did was it helped me build a lot of muscle. You know, red meat contains creatine. When you guys are taking all that creatine, knocking it back in whatever, creatine might be okay as a supplement, but you can't get it naturally in red meat. So red meat's important. Red meat contains...
Actually, those supplements that people take, the creatine doesn't even come from natural sources most of the time. The creatine that does is very expensive. When they get creatine from actual meat, most of those are completely fake. You're not actually buying creatine. People don't get this. People don't get that most supplements are completely fake.
Number 3, chicken. When I say to people that most of the golden era bodybuilding physiques were built with chicken. I mean, we used to eat a lot of chicken back in the day. I know all the guys that I looked up to. You know, I saw one of the bodybuilders' name was Nasa.
The reason people ate a lot of chicken is because chicken is cheap. And when you're doing bodybuilding, you need to eat a lot of food, especially meat. Of course, if they had the choice, then they would have eaten steaks all day long, but it's just too expensive for most people. Chicken also has more polyunsaturated fats because they get fed a lot of garbage, not necessarily naturally if they are eating insects for the most part, which is what chickens eat in nature, but if they get grains, soy and so on, then the meat, especially the fat actually, won't be as healthy. Of course, still you're eating meat, still better than any plant.
El Sambati, Marcus Rule, these people have been on, you know, we're doing the seminars where the exhibitions where you see them and the amount of chicken they used to eat. But here's the thing, I know you guys always go for the chicken breast, but I want you to start eating.
Yeah, all of the what I eat in a day videos from bodybuilders that I review have chicken breast in them. Actually, not even bodybuilders. Basically, most people nowadays eat chicken breast, which is just lean meat. Okay, it's something. If you're eating raw meat, then you can get a lot of amino acids which repair the body, but you really need a lot of fat also.
Eating the red part of the chicken, that's the chicken thighs, because it actually contains more vitamins. When I say red, I'm comparing the thighs to the breast, the brown and the white. Thighs.
He knows what he's talking about for the most part.
When you drink whey protein, they will tell you it's been fortified with this and that. Guys, whey protein is destroyed food. You know, it's just something that came from milk that's been, you know, done so many things to it. It was waste. They just synthetically made something to it in a lab.
I like how passionate he is about sort of exposing these processed waste products.
And you guys are buying it. Please, if you're trying to build muscle, stay away from the whey protein for a while. You build muscle faster. Number 4, my favorite, beef liver. Right now, I eat beef liver 3 times.
Wow, okay. All of a sudden, I kind of like this guy.
Times a week, about between 50 to 100 grams 3 times a week. I find it's very good for me. I feel healthy when I eat beef liver. When I say that, I feel good. I feel really good. Now, apart from oysters, beef liver is the most potent superfood on the planet. And when you think about it, you see, there are some animals back when you...
Not necessarily beef liver only. It's just because most people eat beef liver, seeing as that's what's available. But liver in general, especially from wild animals, oh boy, it's super good, is an absolute superfood, as in it gives you true health, it heals your whole body, it makes you pretty much euphoric, most definitely happy. You just feel the best. if you eat liver. It's nice to see that people from Africa, which I assume is where he's from, well, he talked about Kenya, so he's born there, I don't know where he lives now, eat a lot of liver, and that's because they are still connected to nature, to their roots. Their cultures are way closer to nature. Cultures are man-made, but the cultures that we have in the US, which destroyed Europe, Australia, and all of these countries, everything is Americanized, as in destroyed. Americanized just means destroyed, it's dead. These cultures have nothing to do with nature. Their roots are in degeneracy.
You look at the animal kingdom, there are some animals where when they go hunting, as soon as they catch the animal, they give the beef liver to the alpha male. And I'm not trying to be sexy.
Yes, exactly. And it would be the same for humans. The leader gets to eat the liver, the organs, the rest gets the muscle meat, and the dogs also may get the muscle meat if they have dogs.
See, I'm saying that nature intended that beef liver to be very nutritious. It's very nutritious, sacred as well. It's sacred food. So it is something that I make it a point of eating. If you can't get beef liver, can have lamb's liver. In chicken, it's not the biggest animal. It's not the best. But then as a push, yeah. But beef liver.
It's tricky with chicken liver just because chickens get a lot of those things. I won't mention them on YouTube, and all kinds of garbage. The food is also not good, which is why chicken liver can be toxic. You just gotta get liver from a good animal.
The best. Beef liver contains iron, it contains everything that you need. Instead of taking multivitamins, eat beef liver, at least 3.
Yes, and when you take multivitamins, I love how he says that, then you're getting synthetic so-called vitamins, which are not actually vitamins. It's simply fucking synthetic garbage.
3 times a week. When I was young and we were competing, one of the first guys is a bodybuilder. And people have forgotten about him now, but back in the day we talked about him. His name was Vince Gironda. Vince Gironda used to advocate beef liver. In fact, one of my first...
That guy was still a good bodybuilder. Not that there is such a thing, but at least his physique looked more natural, so to speak. Not that he looked natural, but in the sense that he didn't have this huge roid gut and all of that. He still looked like somebody who simply lifted a lot of metal, which was still stupid, but today the people just look absolutely abnormal because of all the drugs and the unnatural food, the supplements, the powders.
First ever coaches, Johnny Fuller, was a British top bodybuilder in the UK at the time in the 80s and 70s. He used to advise me to blend beef liver and then wake up in the middle of the night and drinking. Obviously, that might seem extreme now, but
I wonder if he meant raw liver. It sounds like it, because would you blend cooked liver? I don't think so. A lot of the bodybuilders back in the day used to eat raw eggs, raw meat.
At the time, building muscle was not about just calories. When you think about just calories, you're thinking about most of these calories, all the processed foods, even whey, they're empty calories.
Even though I don't support bodybuilding, what he's promoting, this sort of wisdom, this information, is going to be lost. The new generations don't get this. They are all about pills, powders, eating carbs, taking multivitamins. That's it. He is still promoting the way you should actually be eating if you do want to do bodybuilding.
Avocado is number 5. You will never see anybody talk about avocado when it comes to muscle building.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised to see that. And avocados don't even exist like that in nature. There's a huge seed inside and very little fruit flesh, which means that you wouldn't even be able to eat a lot of them, a lot of the flesh, which is what's edible. Of course, you don't eat the seed. And you would also never find them. I think that they originate from Mexico. I may be wrong, but they wouldn't be found in Europe, obviously.
But here's the thing. Did you know that avocado is actually good for muscle protein synthesis? We tend to ignore that fact. Avocado is a good fat. It's my number 1 fat choice when I'm dealing with clients who actually...
It's mostly monounsaturated oils. Yes, the human body is more so made out of monounsaturated, more than polyunsaturated oils. That's a very small percentage of our body fat. It's, of course, mostly saturated. But monounsaturated is also not a high percentage. I don't know what really his point is.
Trying to build muscle or trying to lose body fat. It helps you preserve the muscle. Especially when people are eating all this junk food. It's easy to lose muscle when you're eating rubbish food, because when you eat things, sugar, all these protein products that are made, because they don't have the micronutrients in them. Your body has to steal the micronutrients from within itself to convert that calories from those foods into energy or tissue. So,
oh wow, this is a very good point. He really knows what he's talking about as far as this goes. That is exactly true. Most people don't get this.
it's important. So when you're eating avocado, maybe at least every single day. Back in the day when I started bodybuilding, I used to eat avocados every day. In fact, there was a time, early 80s, when some of the shops, I'd never even heard of avocados. I'd go in there, ask for avocados, didn't know what it was. Avocados are really good for muscle preservation. Avocado is also good for your cardiovascular health, especially you guys taking steroids. You know that steroids are not good for your heart, and avocado helps protect you against that. So guys, make sure that you include avocado in your meal plan.
I didn't see him give any actual arguments as to why it's good for muscle building or how it protects your heart. He simply says that, but you will need to give some kind of arguments, some kind of reasoning.
It's about building muscle. If you like the video, please like.
Oh, that's it? I expected something about avocados. Really, after this, you would have to admit that there is no reason to believe that. If I was completely ignorant about food and I would watch you, I would still not believe that avocados are good for your heart or muscle health, so to speak, seeing as you didn't give any actual arguments as to why it would be so. You could have said, oh, this chemical in avocados or whatever, these oils, this protein is going to be beneficial, but instead you just said it is like that. But saying it is like that doesn't make it like that. He also made some video about what to feed your children.
One of the questions that I get asked all the time, almost on a daily basis, is that, Eddie, what do I feed my kids? That always bothers me, because why do you think that you need to eat something different from what your children are eating? We haven't
That's a very good point.
evolved that much in the last 100 years.
It's interesting because when you look at the videos of children not wanting to eat vegetables, obviously, because the parents are forcing them to do that, then you can see that the parents don't want to eat them, but they feel like they need to force the children to do that because the government said so, instead of feeding the children exactly what they themselves also want to eat.
But it's still the same. It doesn't make any sense when someone says your children should be eating differently. The reason why we've got this confusion is because we've been brainwashed to think that children have to eat cereal in the mornings. They have to eat all these sugars.
Cereal destroys the gut, will make your children depressed for life.
When my children were young, one thing I always made sure they did was have at least one egg a day. Now we are in a world where everything is ultra processed. We've got companies trying to make...
True, you don't even see children eating eggs nowadays, even though it used to be so common. And actually it used to be the first food that was given to babies in a lot of places.
When a child gets up in the morning, make them some scrambled eggs with cheese. You don't have to have bread with it. Scrambled eggs with cheese.
Very good recommendation. And yes, a lot of parents believe, because that's what they were brainwashed to do themselves, that if the child is eating eggs, meat, whatever, butter, then there has to be bread or something made out of grains. And that's terrible because, as I said, it destroys your gut. Cereal more so, although cereal and bread are really terrible. Can you say that one is really worse than the other? It's so terrible. It's just so bad. You should never even think about eating that garbage.
And watch their energy change, because the fat in the cheese and the fat in the eggs will sustain them for a lot longer. It will make them even concentrate better at school. I'm not saying take all your carbs out, the carbs out for your children. I'm saying that first thing in the morning, that's not what they need. For the lunch box, you can have
very good recommendation.
Sweet potato, something like that, with the protein that they have. But for the first meal, please don't jump on the sugar.
No sweet potatoes. If children start eating sweet potatoes, then they will most definitely develop kidney stones. It's not a good idea.
You want the animal fat as well. For carbohydrates, you can use sweet potato, avocados, you got cheese, you got chicken. If you buy chicken, make sure you got the skin on. The skin is good because you want the animal fat as well.
All right, I get the idea of his channel. He's against ultra-processed foods or processed foods in general. He promotes eating so-called real foods. And for the most part, it was really good recommendations. Chicken, eggs, beef, liver also, which was my favorite recommendation. He could have also added blood, which people in Africa do drink. I don't know where he lives now. Maybe they don't drink it where he is now, but if he grew up in Kenya for sure, people used to drink a lot of blood. Kenya, Tanzania, everywhere. They're very common with the tribes also. The Maasai, of course, who are still around there in those countries. And he also gave pretty good advice for the children. I don't agree with the sweet potatoes. I didn't agree with it also before, and what he said about black rice instead of white rice, I don't know why he said that. He didn't give a reason for it, but black rice is most definitely always worse. As I said, all rice that has a shell on it is always going to be worse than white rice. There's a reason why you remove the shell, of course. You get rid of all of the garbage, then you have the carbohydrates left with some toxins and anti-nutrients, but just way less. And the fiber from black rice, the shell is totally going to irritate your gut. You're going to be bloated, actually possibly have pain. It's going to destroy your gut. You're going to have eczema and all kinds of skin problems. Totally not worth it. Never do it. Some weird recommendations as far as the seeds go. You shouldn't eat any of them. He said that you shouldn't eat wheat. No, you shouldn't eat any seeds ever. And in these later videos, it kind of seems like he's against at least processed seed products. And of course, all of the seeds that he recommended were processed, in the sense that he doesn't recommend eating them raw, of course. Nobody would do that. He recommends eating them cooked or processed in some other way. It's not ultra processed, but still, you don't eat them raw. And if you cook a food, then it's automatically processed food. And if you gotta process your food, then you shouldn't be eating it in the first place. You can eat liver, any kind of meat, eggs, raw, as they are. And they taste super amazing. You get way more nutrients out of it. It's better for your digestion. It's just better in every way. If you gotta cook your food or process it even more just to be able to eat it, then it's not for you, naturally. Thanks for watching.